Stop saving at 35, never put away another dollar for the rest of your life, and still retire with more money than someone who saves for 30 straight years after that. I know how that sounds, like a scam. It's not, it's arithmetic. And in this video, I'll show you the exact moment this race gets decided, which happens decades before the finish line. Stick around for that. But first, the setup. Meet Maya and Sam, both 25. Maya saves $6,000 a year from 25 to 35, just 10 years, then stops, forever. Sam waits until 35, then saves $6,000 a year from 35 to 65. 30 straight years, triple the effort. Quick gut check. Who retires richer? Almost everyone says Sam. 30 years of saving has to crush 10, right? Let's run the numbers. Here are the rules so you can check every number I say. Each person deposits $6,000 once a year. Every dollar grows at 10% per year, compounded annually. And to be crystal clear, that 10% is a hypothetical assumption, purely for illustration, not a prediction, not a promise. Real markets bounce around. But hold that thought, because the pattern we're about to see survives almost any rate you plug in. Here we go. Age 35. Maya's 10 years are done, total deposited, 6,000 times 10, $60,000, but each deposit has been growing at 10% a year, and the 10-year compounding math, 6,000 times a factor of about 15.9, puts her account at roughly $95,600. Sam's balance, zero. He hasn't started yet. Now Maya does something outrageous. Nothing. No more deposits ever again. And Sam starts grinding, $6,000 a year every single year for 3 decades. Age 45. Maya hasn't contributed in 10 years, yet her account, 95.6 growing at 10% for another decade, about 2.6 times, sits at roughly $248,000. Sam has now deposited the same $60,000 Maya ever put in, and after growth, he's at about $95,600. The exact number Maya had at 35. He is 10 years behind, and on schedule to stay exactly 10 years behind forever. And here's that moment I promised you. The very next year. Maya's account grows 10% of $248, about $25,000, while she does literally nothing. Sam hustles all year, deposits $6,000 plus 10% growth on his 95, about $9.5, for a total gain of roughly $15,500. She out-earns him in her sleep. That's when the gap becomes uncatchable. Honestly, it was uncatchable the day Sam started, because at 35, Maya's account was already growing by 10% of 95.6, over $9,500 a year, more than Sam's entire annual deposit with zero effort. From that day forward, the gap only widens. Age 55. Maya, 95.6, compounding at 10% for 20 years, a multiple of about 6.7, roughly $643,000. Sam, 20 years of deposits, 6,000 times a factor of about 57, $344,000. Sam has now deposited double what Maya ever invested, $120,000, and he's still $300,000 behind. The hole isn't closing, it's getting deeper. Age 65, final bell. Maya, 95.6 compounding at 10% for 30 years, 1.1 to the 30th power multiplies money by about 17.4. 95.6 times 17.4, roughly $1.67 million. Sam, 6,000 a year for 30 years at 10%, 6,000 times a 30-year factor of about 164.5, lands near $987,000. 1.67 million minus 987, Maya wins by around $680,000. After investing 180 minus 60, $120,000 less. Sam saved for 30 years, Maya saved for 10. Let that sink in. So why does 10 years beat 30? Because school trained us to think linearly, put in more, end up with more. But compounding isn't addition, it's multiplication. Your money earns a return, and then that return starts earning its own return, and that return earns a return. Growth on growth on growth, a feedback loop. Lines stay flat, feedback loops go vertical. Here's the multiplier in one rule, the rule of 72. Take 72, divide by your growth rate. 72 divided by 10 is about 7, and that's roughly how many years it takes money to double. Maya's age $25 have 40 years to work. That's nearly 6 doublings. 6,000 becomes 12, then 24, 48, 96, 192. The exact 40-year math says times 45. One single $6,000 deposit at 25 is hypothetically worth about $271,000 by 65. One deposit. Worth more than a quarter of everything Sam builds in a lifetime of saving. And this is the line that rewires people. Of Maya's $1.67 million, how much did she actually deposit? $60,000. $60,000 divided by $1.67 million, about 3.6%. Over 96% of her wealth is time. She didn't build $1.67 million. She planted $60,000, and time built the rest. Now, if that 10% feels optimistic, good. Healthy skepticism. So run it at a boring hypothetical 7%. Maya, 6,000 times a 10-year factor of about 13.8, then grown by about 7.6 over 30 years, roughly 631,000. Sam, 6,000 times a 30-year factor of about 94.5, about 567,000. Sam deposits triple and still loses. Change the rate, shrink both piles, the pattern never flips, because the pattern was never about the rate. It's about the years. So, which one are you? If you're in your 20s, hear this clearly. You are holding the most expensive years of your entire investing life, and they're the only ones you can never buy back. $6,000 a year is $500 a month. Painful? Sure. Temporary? Absolutely. And the head start it buys is permanent. And if you're on Sam's side of 35, don't miss the second lesson hiding in this chart. Yes, Sam lost to Maya. But Sam still finishes with roughly $1 million hypothetically, because he started at 35 instead of 45. Sam's real opponent was never Maya. It was the version of himself that kept waiting. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. That curve, flat, 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 then straight up, is the chart your school never showed you. Wealth isn't about dollars. It's about years. Years are the asset. Dollars are just the seed. If this was helpful, there's more on the channel. And if you want the rest of the math class you never got, subscribing is a free way to ask for it. Now go plant something your 65-year-old self will spend decades thanking you for.